I'm going to show you 3 ways to make multiple artboards in Adobe Illustrator. I'm in Illustrator, I'm hitting New, Create New, Command-N, Mac, Control-N, BC, and I have a new document. I'm going to tell it to be inches, and you see it's letter size by default here, and 1 artboard. And I can change that size. I'll go 11 by 11 inches square, and I'm going to make multiple artboards. Let's say 4 artboards. Down below there's more settings, and you see I have 4 artboards there. There's a small amount of spacing. I want to get a little more spacing, so I'll go to 1/2 inch spacing, and these are how the artboards will be ordered. They'll zigzag, they'll go up and down, left to right. I'll go just vertically down, and I like that. I'll click OK, create new document. You see I have 4 artboards here, and they're all stacked. There's a 1/2 inch between each one. I'm going to go to the Artboard tool now. It's there highlighted, and you can see in the Properties panel I can click on an artboard. You can see it's selected and it says Artboard 1. I can click more options. I can change it. I'm just going to call this New Artboard name, and then click OK, and then you'll see that that artboard is named New Artboard name. And so I can click on the next one, and it's got its regular name. If I click on these little handles, I can rescale it, and let's say I want it to be back to 11 inches by 11 inches. Over on the left there in the Properties panel, there's a reference point. It's going to reference the upper left hand corner. So I told it to be 11 inches wide, and it got back to 11. I just scaled it. It's 3.5 inches basically tall. I can go ahead and make sure if I'm from that same reference point or a top reference point, I type 11 inches. So I can change the size of an artboard or art in the Properties panel. And you can see that Artboard 2 is selected, and I'm going to rename. You don't have to name artboards, but if you want to name artboards, you can name artboards. So I've got 4 artboards, and I have named a couple. I can select an artboard and just hit delete. So I'm going to delete down to just 1 artboard, and then I'm going to make a new artboard. So with the Artboard tool selected, I can just click and drag, and I can make any size artboard. That little pink line is a smart guide. It's telling me that it's aligned on the bottom. And then over in the Properties panel, I'll tell this I want it to be the same size, 11 inches by 11 inches. So I'm just going to type 11. And as soon as I click off that, it'll make it that size. So I've got 2 artboards here now, and that's just by clicking and dragging the artboard and then changing the size in the Properties panel. I think I'll put a little bit of artwork in this. I'm going to select the star tool, and I'll color it something more exciting than black. So I'll give you a gold star here. Here's kind of a golden color, and I'll draw a star here in the middle. I'm holding Option, Alt on a PC to draw from the center, and then Shift to keep it straight up and down. So I've got a star. I'm using a smart guide to get it in the center of the page. And I think I'll put something else on the second artboard. And so over by the star tool, there's an ellipse tool, or I can just hit L for ellipse. Again, I'm going to draw from the center. I'll hold Option to draw from the center and Shift, and I'll change the color of this. We'll have a red-ish ball. And so I've got 2 artboards here. Now with the Artboard tool selected, I've got Artboard 1 selected. I can hold Option, I get this little double arrow, and pull down. I'm holding Shift so it keeps going straight up and down. And there I've duplicated that artboard and the artwork that's on it. I'm going to do the same thing with this ball. I'll hold Option, Alt on a PC, and drag down. Holding Shift as well will keep it straight up and down. I can select multiple artboards. I've held Shift to do that, and I can drag them and multiply artboards. So you see here from 1 artboard, by holding Option, Alt on a PC, and dragging, I duplicate the artboards. So now I have 6 artboards, and that's handy if you want to duplicate the actual art that's on the artboard as well. And that's 3 ways to create artboards with document settings, with the Artboard tool, and by Option dragging to duplicate.